B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A+ English because it's so much fun. English education for you and everyone, so come along. Learn some grammar, learn a phrase, learn something new every day. Learn the A+ way. Hey, it's time to start the show. Are you ready? Good, 'cause here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A+ English.
Hi everyone and welcome to A+ English. I'm Pat.
And I'm Mike.
So we're on our monthly Culture Shock unit. You might remember last month that Simon and Lucia were on their way to Tainan on the train. And now they're going to be in Tainan. The story continues and it's pretty warm down there, which leads to our warm-up question. Do you like hot weather? Why or why not?
Okay, so hot weather is, we're talking probably above sort of 26, 27 degrees. Above 30 degrees is definitely hot. Well, I kind of like hot weather. It depends where I am and what I'm doing, I suppose. If you're in the city and it's very humid and you're kind of running around on a busy day, it's not the best. But if you're out at the beach, it's lovely. So, it kind of depends on how hot and where I am. What about you?
Yes, all the time. I don't care where I am or what I'm doing. If it's hot, I'm happier than when it's cold.
Okay.
It's just bottom line. And maybe that's because I'm British and therefore I have very little experience of hot, sunny weather. And therefore I'll take it every opportunity I can get.
So you're very happy here in the summer.
Yes, I am. The first summer I was here, I was like, wow, this is crazy, but I think I've gotten used to it and now I really love it.
Yeah, it kind of hits you like a fist the first time you step off that airplane, doesn't it? But some people do enjoy it a whole lot. Other people deal with it. They're used to it. And some folks I know really dislike the hot weather. So, to each his own, as they would say.
Let's find out how Simon and Lucia are coping with it in Tainan in day one of our article.
Culture Shock! Culture Shock. Beating the heat. Warm-up question. Do you like hot weather? Why or why not? Simon and Lucia are in Tainan.
I love Tainan. The food here is great and there are so many things to see.
Simon looks very hot.
Yeah, but it's so hot out here.
You are still not used to the heat in Taiwan?
Taipei is hot in summer, but Tainan is boiling.
Let's get a cold drink.
They go into a 7-Eleven.
Thank you, air conditioner. Cool me down. Can we stay in here all day?
No way. There are lots of things for us to do.
Simon and Lucia buy several cold drinks. They walk outside.
Blimey, I'm sweating again already.
Taiwan is humid all year round. That makes the heat feel worse in the summer.
Give me a wet tissue.
Simon puts the wet tissue on the back of his neck.
Wonderful.
That's a good idea.
Lucia puts a wet tissue on the back of her neck.
Word power!
Heat. Heat. The summer heat in Taiwan is terrible. I can't take it. The summer heat in Taiwan is terrible. I can't take it. Drink. Drink. My favorite drink is milk tea. I have 3 cups every day. My favorite drink is milk tea. I have 3 cups every day. Air conditioner. Air conditioner. We don't need to use the air conditioner in the winter. It's not hot at all. We don't need to use the air conditioner in the winter. It's not hot at all. Humid. Humid. It's hot today and very humid. My face feels so wet. It's hot today and very humid. My face feels so wet.
认识字汇
boiling, sweat, tissue.
So we start off with our scenario, our picture in our comic strip, and we see that Simon and Lucia are in Tainan.
All right. So beautiful Tainan down in the southern part of Taiwan. And Lucia seems to be a fan of the place. She says, I love Tainan. So, maybe she's not from there, but it's certainly one of her favorite cities in all of Taiwan. She enjoys going down there as many times as she can, as much as she can. And she has a few reasons. She says the food here is great and there are so many things to see. So the food and the sights, the attractions, the things to see, both of those she enjoys very much. Maybe she likes the danzai noodles and the coffin bread.
Yep.
The famous coffin bread. And of course, the chicken tower. You can go see the chicken tower, the Chikan Tower. I always call it the chicken tower.
And I like a place they'll visit a bit later on in the article, the Anping area.
The fort out there.
Yeah.
That's nice too.
Okay, so Lucia is happy, but we see in our picture that Simon looks very hot.
Well, it is July and it is Tainan.
Yes.
So, of course, he does look very hot. He's probably sweating. He's maybe mopping his brow with some tissue paper, fanning himself with his shirt or something. And he says, yeah, but it's so hot out here. So he's not disagreeing with Lucia. He's, excited to be there, maybe looking forward to the food and stuff, but he's kind of complaining a little bit. He does have a little bit of a problem, the heat. That's why he says it's so hot out here. Obviously, they're not in an air-conditioned hotel or shopping mall. They're out in the street in the heat, and he's not loving it totally.
Yeah, Lucia says to him, you're still not used to the heat in Taiwan. Simon is British like me, and yeah, it's a big change for us to come to Taiwan in the summer. So Lucia says he's not used to it. If you are used to something, you change through experience so that something no longer bothers you or affects you as much as before. If you're not used to something, this change hasn't happened yet. We can also use the phrase get used to something. If you are getting used to it, you're in the process. If you've got used to something, you've made that change. So you can use be and get in basically the same way. So there, Lucia talked about heat.
Absolutely. Heat, H-E-A-T, that's the word heat. It's the first of our word power words, and this is a noun basically talking about something being hot. Why is something hot? Because of the heat. Why do you feel hot when you go outside? Well, the sun creates a lot of heat. The opposite would be cold, all right? So we can talk about something being cold, or we can talk about also cold as a noun. So if you open your fridge and stick your hand in, you will feel the cold coming out of the fridge. If you open the oven after you've cooked something, or you're, boiling some soup or whatever, and you put your hand over the pot, you will feel the heat coming off of that hot thing or in that hot place. So if there's a high temperature, you're definitely going to feel the heat. For example, the summer heat in Taiwan is terrible. I can't take it. The summer heat in Taiwan is terrible. I can't take it.
Yeah, and we see that water falls off Simon's face. Of course, we mean sweat when we're very hot. Water does come out of our body. It's a way that we cool down, basically. So Simon has been in Taipei all of this time, and he's got something to say about Taipei and also Tainan in the summer.
Yeah, you can feel a lot of heat all over Taiwan during the summer, but yes, depending on where you are, the heat might be a little more in certain places, and that's kind of what he's noticing and commenting on. He says Taipei is hot in summer, but Tainan is boiling. Okay, so basically, Taipei is hot, no doubting that, but Tainan is even hotter. He's describing it as boiling. Remember, I was talking about that hot soup, or when you're making some tea or coffee. You can't really make good tea or coffee using cold water. It takes too long. If you want to make tea properly and coffee, you'll have to get boiling water. If something is boiling, it means the temperature of the water, especially, is above 100 degrees Celsius. All right, so if you're having boiling water, we can use it as a verb to boil water. Those bubbles are coming up. It's giving off steam. It's extremely hot. Do not put your hand in boiling water. But in a more general kind of sarcastic, maybe a little way, or, we're sort of stretching the truth. We're just saying it's really, really hot. Of course, if the air in Tainan was boiling, there'd be no life. Basically, It would be deadly. So he's not really saying that the air temperature is above 100 degrees, but maybe it's above 35 degrees, up to 40 degrees. It's very hot. Or you can use this expression, it's boiling.
Yeah, it's a pretty common expression in the UK in hot weather. We say it's boiling. So Lucia says, let's get a cold drink. Drink, D-R-I-N-K, drink is a noun and our next word power word. So a drink is something liquid we eat, we consume, we put in our bodies, either to give our bodies water, or because we like the taste, or to cool down, or to warm up. Tea, coffee, water, juice, and so on. These are all different kinds of drinks. So we could say, my favorite drink is milk tea. I have 3 cups every day. My favorite drink is milk tea. I have 3 cups every day.
Wow, that's a lot of milk tea. That really does sound like your favorite drink. And a good place to get a drink of milk tea or many other types of drink is inside a convenience store. So that's what happens. They go into a 7-Eleven. Of course, that's a well-known chain of convenience stores. But you can find any convenience store on almost any corner, or many convenience stores on almost any corner of Taiwan. And in the summertime, there's another good thing about convenience stores. Not only do they have cold drinks, but they also have...
Well, we see Simon saying, thank you, air conditioner.
Air conditioners.
Yes, so air conditioner is 2 words, A-I-R for air, and then conditioner, C-O-N-D-I-T-I-O-N-E-R.
But that's so long, Pat. Is there a shorter way we can say that?
There sure is. We can say AC.
Perfect.
But air conditioner is a noun and it's our next word power word. So an air conditioner is a device that cools down the air in a room or building. It also takes the water out of the air and helps it to move around a little as well. It's pretty much essential in Taiwan in the summer, and as Mike says, we can just say AC instead of air conditioner. We can also use AC for air conditioning. Air conditioner is the machine. Air conditioning is kind of the whole idea of cooling down the room or building with this machine. So here's an example. We don't need to use the air conditioner in the winter. It's not hot at all. We don't need to use the air conditioner in the winter. It's not hot at all.
Yeah, and the opposite for the winter, you might just say a heater, right? A heater, H-E-A-T-E-R, that will heat the air and blow it around the room to warm you up. But yes, in Taiwan, you definitely use the air conditioner more than you might use a heater, since it is hot so much of the year. Anyway, so Simon's in there. You can imagine he's probably got his arms spread out, getting as much of that cold air on as much of his body as he can, and he's sort of talking to the air conditioner, but he's also just sort of wishing that he gets to cool down as quickly as possible. Cool me down, he says, as if he's ordering the air conditioner or asking the air conditioning gods to do their magic and cool him down a little bit, make him stop sweating so much. And to cool someone or something down is basically just to make it colder, to lower the temperature. If you have a hot cup of tea and you want to drink it quickly, you might blow on the top of it to cool it down, to lower the temperature, to make it a little bit safer or a little bit nicer to drink. But if you're taking something from a warmer, hotter temperature down to a cooler, colder temperature, you are cooling that thing or yourself down.
Yep, and in the picture we see Simon doing this. He's closing his eyes. He lets the cold air cool him. He looks very happy.
I'm sure he is. It's a nice feeling when you walk in those first moments into the air conditioning, and then he's kind of hoping that he stays that way for a lot longer than just a few minutes. He says, "Can we stay in here all day?" He He wants to kind of camp out inside the convenience store and just enjoy the air conditioner.
But Lucia shakes her head, we see in the picture.
She says, as she shakes her head. That's just a way of saying no. But she says no. No way, she says. In fact, there are lots of things for us to do. So no way, this phrase is like no, but it's just a very strong no. There's no chance. That is not going to happen. No way, we have to go. There are lots of things to do. They didn't come to Tainan just to hang out in a 7-Eleven.
True, but they went to the 7 to buy drinks, and so we see Simon and Lucia buy several cold drinks.
Oh, okay. So I'm sure Simon probably took his time picking one out to enjoy that air conditioner a little bit longer. But yes, it's time to go. They've paid for their drinks, they've got them with them, and then they walk outside. So back out to the heat.
And Simon says, "Blimey, I'm sweating again already." So Simon used a word there, blimey. This is a British phrase, an exclamation, and the word basically means wow or oh my god, OMG. You'll hear British people say blimey. Now, it comes from the longer phrase, God blind me, but we shortened it and made it a bit more polite, and so God blind me became blimey.
All right.
Yeah, it's just something we say when we want to say wow.
Yeah, an expression of surprise or shock or something like that.
Blimey.
And he's saying that because he walked out of the store and in seconds he's sweating again. So he's so surprised at how quickly he went from cool and comfortable back to hot and sweaty because he's outside in the Tainan heat. And yes, if your body is very warm, maybe from the air temperature, or maybe because you're working really hard. You know, it could be a cool day, but you're out there playing basketball or working hard. Your body will be cooling itself off by sweating. All right, this is a natural reaction of your body. You basically produce water out of your skin, and that water helps to cool your skin down, and that helps to cool you down. It's funny because we don't feel cold when we're sweating. In fact, we feel hot when we're doing it, but our body is slowly cooling ourselves down. And we should point out here that, yes, we describe that as sweating. You know, I'm working really hard, I am sweating. But also the water that comes out, we call it sweat. The proper term would be perspiration. That would be the medical term, but most people would say, hey, you got some sweat on your face. Here's a tissue paper. You can wipe off the sweat because you are sweating.
Yeah, and you'll do that when it's hot, but it's not just the heat that's the problem. Lucia says Taiwan is humid all year round.
Good point.
Yep, humid is spelled H-U-M-I-D, humid. It's an adjective, and our next word power word. So if the air has a lot of water in it, we say it's humid. And this way makes the weather feel hotter in summer, and the air also feels thick, like you can't breathe it. In winter, however, if it's humid, it makes the air feel colder and wetter, even when it's not raining. So here's an example. It's hot today and very humid. My face feels so wet. It's hot today and very humid. My face feels so wet. And Taiwan is humid all year round.
Yeah, usually it is. But if you went to another hot part of the world, like in the desert, if you went to Dubai or Egypt or somewhere like that, it could be very hot, but it won't be very humid. It's very dry there. So if you sweat, the sweat goes off your body much faster, and often people don't feel quite so hot. But I notice in Taiwan, when there's a typhoon coming, it gets less humid for a few days before. So you might notice that. It's hot, but you don't feel so hot because it's not so humid. But as you pointed out, generally in Taiwan, it's humid all year round. In the summertime, of course, but in the winter time too, it's that wetness in the air, that humidity, H-U-M-I-D-I-T-Y, that's what we would call that wetness in the air that makes you feel hot in the summer or cold in the winter. All year round means all the time, all the months of the year, from December through the summer, back to December, all the time, all year round.
Yep, and as Lucia explains, that makes the heat feel worse in the summer.
True.
So worse is the comparative form of bad. Something is bad, this is worse. So it's just for making a comparison.
Yes. Anyway, so back to Simon. He's feeling the heat. He's feeling the humidity. He's sweating. And so he says, give me a wet tissue. He really needs something to help him sweat, or at least get the sweat off him and help him cool down. And so he's thinking a wet tissue would be a good idea. Yeah, a towel you can wipe your face with. A normal tissue, that's the type of thing you might blow your nose with. That will be dry, but we don't say a dry tissue. We just say a tissue or a Kleenex or a tissue paper. A wet tissue would be one of those ones that has a little bit of moisture on it as you pull it out of the pack. It's kind of good for washing your hands when you don't have a sink, when you don't have a bathroom around. The wet tissue might clean your hands, and I guess the wetness of the tissue will help the sweat get off and still keep his skin cool. But a tissue is basically a small, disposable, thin, but very absorbent. It picks up water very easily. A piece of paper that we use, and often you have some in your bag, in your purse, in your car. And in Taiwan, they give away tissues at the gas station too, right? If you fill up your car with gas, you'll get some tissue, and you can use them in the bathroom for many different reasons or many different ways.
That's right. So we see Lucia give Simon a wet tissue.
Nice. So he uses it, but he puts it on the back of his neck. Simon puts the wet tissue on the back of his neck. That's a good place to try to cool yourself off. We often don't wipe the back of our neck, but if you do with a wet tissue or a wet towel, it can kind of make you feel cooler a little bit faster. So that's a nice thing to do. Good idea.
And Simon says, wonderful.
Now, Lucia maybe is not such a professional sweater as Simon is. She doesn't sweat so often, so she hasn't discovered these little tricks. She says, that's a good idea. You know, she might typically wipe her face, but maybe not the back of her neck. So she thinks that's a good idea, and she probably copies him, right?
Exactly. We see in the picture, Lucia puts a wet tissue on the back of her neck. So that's where we're going to leave the two of them for today. We'll catch up with them again tomorrow, but right now we're going to go to our magic box first and then our review time.
Magic Box 找亮点。
Hello， 大家好，我是 Peggy。夏天到了，台湾的夏天超热，超热，超级热。今天就来教大家一些可以让你酷凉一下的用词吧。首先要说很热，非常热。除了 hot、it's hot、it's very hot 以外，还有一些夸张的用法，比如说课文里面 Simon 提到的 it's boiling。boil 这个动词就是将水煮滚、煮沸的意思。这边呢是拿来夸饰说好像天气热到空气要沸腾了。另外一个类似的用法则是 it's scorching， 意思就是说天气热的烫人。天气很热的时候，我们会 sweat 流汗。这个字呢，动词跟名词是一样的，长得一样。然后当动词的时候就是流汗，当名词的时候就是汗水。要说一个人满身大汗，可以在后面加一个 y 变成形容词 sweaty。John is sweaty after playing basketball. John 在打完篮球之后满身大汗。接下来要说很热的时候呢，我们就会想要开冷气或开电扇来 cool down。这边的 cool 呢 ，C-O-O-L 是当成动词来使用哦，不是形容词很酷的意思啦。当动词使用的时候呢，意思就是说让某个东西降温冷却。有时候我们也会说 cool off， 基本上和 cool down 是一样的意思。比如说 The mother blew on the soup to cool it down before she fed it to the baby。那名母亲先把汤吹凉，再把汤喂给小宝宝。另一个跟 cool down 很像，但意思不一样的是 calm down。calm down， C-A-L-M， calm 在这边呢也是当作动词哦。不过这边指的是心情上的冷静下来，跟 cool down 指的是温度上的冷却是不一样的。但是你知道心静自然凉嘛。最后呢，来个随堂测验，看看你们今天有没有学会这些跟气温有关的用词吧。那台机器在我们关掉它之后就冷却下来了。The answer is the machine cooled down after we turned it off. 你答对了吗？
Wait for it. It's review time. 复习时间到喽。
So today we talked about an air conditioner. So this is a noun that has an ER at the end of a verb. The thing conditions the air, so it's a conditioner. And there are a lot of other machines or items that we could use with ER at the end of a verb to turn it into a noun to describe the function, such as a toaster. It toasts the bread, so it is a toaster.
There you go.
What else have we got?
Something else you might have in the kitchen is a coffee maker. If you want to make coffee, why not get a machine that makes coffee? And you would call it a coffee maker.
Yep. Here's another one that everybody must have, a computer. It computes. It runs programs. It does very complicated math or calculations. That is what computing is, so you have a computer.
Interesting. And something else that you might have in the kitchen, to mix things up at a very high speed. If you're making like a milkshake or some kind of smoothie, something with fruit that you want to chop up really quickly and mix with water, you blend that fruit with the water, and then you have a blender to help you out with that. It does the job of blending.
Yep, so there are a lot of other examples of nouns which have got ER at the end of a verb describing the function of this particular item or object or whatever. Learn them, they're useful words. That's all we've got time for today, but join us again tomorrow for more with Simon and Lucia. See you then, bye for now.
Take care.
Culture shock!
Culture shock. Beating the heat. Warm-up question. Do you like hot weather? Why or why not? Simon and Lucia are in Tainan.
I love Tainan. The food here is great and there are so many things to see.
Simon looks very hot.
Yeah, but it's so hot out here.
You are still not used to the heat in Taiwan?
Taipei is hot in summer, but Tainan is boiling.
Let's get a cold drink.
They go into a 7-Eleven.
Thank you, air conditioner. Cool me down. Can we stay in here all day?
No way. There are lots of things for us to do.
Simon and Lucia buy several cold drinks. They walk outside.
Blimey, I'm sweating again already.
Taiwan is humid all year round. That makes the heat feel worse in the summer.
Give me a wet tissue.
Simon puts the wet tissue on the back of his neck.
Wonderful.
That's a good idea.
Lucia puts a wet tissue on the back of her neck.
Word power.
Heat. Heat. The summer heat in Taiwan is terrible. I can't take it. The summer heat in Taiwan is terrible. I can't take it. Drink. Drink. My favorite drink is milk tea. I have 3 cups every day. My favorite drink is milk tea. I have 3 cups every day. Air conditioner. Air conditioner. We don't need to use the air conditioner in the winter. It's not hot at all. We don't need to use the air conditioner in the winter. It's not hot at all. Humid. Humid. It's hot today and very humid. My face feels so wet. It's hot today and very humid. My face feels so wet.
认识字汇。
Boiling. Sweat. Tissue.